You know, when you get to be my age, 92 years old, God willing, people start treating you like you're some kind of relic, like you're a dusty old book on a shelf that nobody opens anymore. They smile at you, they pat your hand, they say, "Oh, you look wonderful, Maria." But they don't really listen. They don't ask what you know. And I think that's the saddest thing about getting old. Not the wrinkles, not the creaky knees, not the fact that you can't sleep past 5 in the morning anymore. It's that people stop asking you what you've learned. Because let me tell you something, I have learned a thing or two in 92 years. Some of it the hard way, some of it by watching, and some of it by listening, really listening, to what my body was trying to tell me. I want to tell you about my friend Eleanor, Ellie. We lived next door to each other for 43 years. 43 years. That's longer than most marriages last these days. She was my neighbor, my confidant, my card partner every Wednesday evening. We buried our husbands within 2 years of each other. Mine in 97, hers in 99. And after that, it was just us two, holding down the fort, watching the neighborhood change around us, watching families move in and out, watching the elm tree on the corner grow so tall, you'd think it was trying to touch heaven. Ellie was sharp. Oh, she was sharp. She could remember phone numbers from 30 years ago. She could finish the crossword puzzle in ink. She could tell you what the weather was going to do before the man on television even opened his mouth. But Ellie had one fault. Just one, really. And it was that she didn't listen to herself. She didn't listen when her body whispered. And I think about that every single day now. It started small. So small that you'd barely notice. Ellie mentioned one afternoon we were sitting on her porch drinking lemonade. It was a warm June day. She mentioned that she'd been feeling tired. Not the regular tired, you understand. Not the kind of tired where you've been gardening all afternoon and your legs ache and you just need to put your feet up. No, this was a different kind of tired. A bone-deep tired. The kind where you wake up in the morning and you feel like you haven't slept at all. Like somebody drained the energy right out of you while you were lying there. I asked her if she'd been sleeping well. She waved me off. "Oh, Maria, I'm 90 years old. What do you expect? Of course I'm tired. It's just age." It's not age. I wanted to say it then. I should have said it louder. But I didn't want to be the nagging friend, you know? I didn't want to be the one who's always worrying, always fussing. So I let it go. And I think about that a lot. Then, a few weeks later, she told me she'd been getting winded. Just walking up the stairs to her bedroom. 8 steps, that's all. Just 8 little steps. She'd have to stop and catch her breath. She said it like it was nothing. She said it like it was the most normal thing in the world. "I'm just out of shape," she laughed. "I need to walk more." And then she changed the subject to her granddaughter's wedding plans. And I let her. Because that's what friends do sometimes. They let you change the subject. They let you steer the conversation away from the things that scare you. But I should have steered it right back. The thing about what was happening to Ellie, the tiredness, the shortness of breath, it was quiet. It was so quiet. There was no pain, no dramatic moment, no flashing red light. It was like a silent killer that stays quiet, that moves through your body like water through a cracked foundation, slowly, patiently, and you don't even know it's there until the whole structure starts to give way. That's what it was, a silent killer that stays quiet. And Ellie didn't hear it because she wasn't listening. And honestly, most people don't. Most people think that feeling terrible is just part of getting older. They think that being exhausted at 70 or 80 or 90 is just what happens. But it's not age. It's not age. It's something else. Something that's happening inside you that you can't see. And doctors about this stay quiet. They check your blood pressure, they listen to your heart, they say, "You're doing fine for your age," and they send you home. And you believe them, because they're the ones with the diplomas on the wall. Then came the cold feet. That was the one that really got me. I remember it was September, still warm enough to sit outside in the evenings, and Ellie was sitting in her recliner with a blanket over her feet. I said, "Ellie, it's 75 degrees out here. Why do you have that blanket?" And she said her feet had been cold for weeks. Cold all the time. Cold in the morning, cold at night, cold even when the rest of her was warm. She rubbed them and wiggled her toes and laughed it off. "Bad circulation," she said. "What do you expect at my age?" It's not age. There, I said it. I said it right there on her porch. I said, "Ellie, that's not age. That's your body trying to tell you something." And she looked at me with those sharp eyes of hers, and she said, "Maria, you worry too much. You've always worried too much." Maybe she was right. Maybe I do worry too much. But I'm still here, and I'm going to tell you why. I did things differently. Not because I was smarter. Ellie was smarter than me in most ways. I'll admit that freely. But because I listened. I listened to my body. The way you listen to a child who's trying to tell you something important, but doesn't quite have the words. Your body talks to you. It really does. It whispers first, and if you don't listen, it speaks a little louder. And if you still don't listen, well, then it does something you can't ignore. Every morning, I started my day slowly, no rushing. I think that's something people don't understand anymore, the value of a slow morning. I'd sit by the window, I'd breathe, I'd let my body wake up at its own pace. I'd move gently, stretch a little, nothing dramatic, just enough to let the blood flow, to let everything inside me know that it was time to start moving again. And I think that made a difference. I really do. And every night, before bed, I had a ritual. It wasn't anything fancy. It wasn't some secret recipe from the old country that my grandmother passed down to me. Although my grandmother did know a thing or two, let me tell you. It was simple. A warm drink, that's all. A warm drink that I made for myself every single evening for the last 30 years. Herbs, a little honey, some things that help clean the blood vessels, that help keep them clear. Because you see, I thought about my body the way my husband used to think about the plumbing in our house. God rest him. He was a tinkerer man, always fixing things. He used to say, "Maria, the pipes in this house are 50 years old, but they're fine because I keep them clean. The moment you let the sludge build up, that's when the trouble starts." And he was right. He was talking about pipes under the sink, but he could have been talking about the pipes inside of us. Because that's what your blood vessels are. They're pipes. And over the years, the sludge builds up, the plaque builds up, and everything slows down. Everything gets harder. The blood can't get through the way it used to, and your feet get cold because the warm blood can't reach them, and you get tired because your body isn't getting what it needs, and you get winded because your heart is working so hard just to push through pipes that are clogged with years of buildup. Pipes clogged with sludge. That's what it is. And when you think about it that way, it makes sense, doesn't it? It's not some mystery. It's not just getting old. It's plumbing. And plumbing can be taken care of if you pay attention. So I drank my little drink every night. Warm, soothing, with herbs that I knew were good for the vessels, that helped keep them clear, that helped keep the blood moving the way it should. And I'm not saying it was some miracle cure. I'm not saying it was magic. I'm saying it was a small thing that I did every day, consistently, for 30 years, because I believed that small things matter. I believed that the things you do every day, the habits you keep, the things you pay attention to, they add up. They either add up to something good or they add up to something bad, but they add up. That's the part people don't want to hear. They want the quick fix. They want the pill. They want the doctor to give them something that makes it all go away. But doctors about this stay quiet. They don't tell you about the small things. They don't tell you about the warm drink before bed, the slow morning, the listening to your body. Maybe because it sounds too simple. Maybe because there's no money in it. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm a 92-year-old woman who's still here, still breathing easy, still walking up those 8 steps without stopping. Ellie didn't drink anything special. She didn't have a ritual. She laughed at mine, actually. She used to tease me about it. Maria and her potions, she'd say to the ladies at church. And we'd all laugh, and it was fine. It was just friendly teasing. But underneath the laughter, I was worried. I was worried because I could see what was happening. I could see the pipes getting clogged. I could see the sludge building up. Not with my eyes. I'm not a doctor. I keep saying that. But with my instincts. With the part of me that has watched a lot of people grow old and has noticed the difference between the ones who listen and the ones who don't. The thing that happened with Ellie, I don't want to go into the details. I don't think that's helpful. I don't think anyone needs to hear the scary medical parts. What I'll tell you is this. One morning, she couldn't get out of bed. Just like that. One morning, the body that had been whispering for months finally decided to shout. And it was too late. Not too late for everything. She's alive. She's in a care facility now. She's comfortable. The nurses are kind to her. But too late for the life she had. Too late for the Wednesday card games. Too late for the porch conversations. Too late for the lemonade in June. All of that is gone now. And what's left is a woman in a bed who looks at the ceiling and sometimes doesn't remember my name when I come to visit. And I sit there beside her and I hold her hand and I think, this didn't have to happen. This didn't have to happen. If she had listened, if she had taken the tiredness seriously, if she had paid attention to the shortness of breath, if she had wondered about the cold feet instead of dismissing them, if she had done one small thing every day to take care of the pipes, to keep them clear, to keep the blood flowing, maybe things would be different. Maybe she'd be sitting on that porch right now, finishing the crossword in ink, telling me what the weather was going to do. I think about that a lot. I think about it when I make my drink at night. I think about it when I feel my own body, still strong, still steady, still carrying me through each day. And I feel grateful. Not lucky, exactly. Grateful. Because gratitude implies that you did something with what you were given. Luck implies it just happened to you. And I don't believe it just happened. I believe I paid attention. I believe I listened. I believe I did the small things. And the small things kept the big things away. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You might be thinking, well, Maria, maybe Ellie was just going to get sick no matter what. Maybe it was genetics. Maybe it was fate. And maybe you're right. Maybe there's nothing any of us could have done. But I don't believe that. I don't believe in giving up before you've even tried. I don't believe in dismissing your body's signals just because you're old and you think that's what old is supposed to feel like. It's not age. I'll say it as many times as I need to. It's not age. It's not age. It's something else, and you have the power to do something about it. Maybe not everything. Maybe not as much as you could have at 40 or 50, but something. And something is always better than nothing. I wonder sometimes, and I'm curious. I really am. I wonder how many of you watching this right now have felt what Ellie felt. The tiredness that doesn't go away. The breath that doesn't come easy. The cold that settles in your feet and won't leave. I wonder how many of you have brushed it off, said it's nothing, said it's just getting older. And I wonder, I genuinely wonder, if you had a friend who sat you down and said, listen to me, this isn't nothing, this is your body talking to you. I wonder if you'd listen, or would you wave them off the way Ellie waved me off? Would you say, you worry too much? I think about that a lot. The balance between worrying too much and not worrying enough. There's a line somewhere, and I think it's different for everyone. Some people cross it one way, some people cross it the other. Ellie crossed it by not worrying at all. Maybe I cross it sometimes by worrying too much. But if I had to choose, if I had to pick which mistake to make, I'd rather worry too much than not enough. Because worrying too much might keep you here a little longer, and not worrying enough might take you away before you're ready to go. You know, I miss Ellie every day. I miss her laugh. I miss the way she'd call me on a Tuesday morning and say, Maria, I'm making coffee, come over. I miss the way she'd argue with the television during the news, like the anchorman could hear her. I miss my friend. And I think the hardest part isn't that she's gone. She's not gone. She's still here. She's just not here the way she was. The hardest part is knowing that it might have been different. That if she had listened, if she had done the small things, if she had taken care of her pipes the way I took care of mine, maybe she'd still be calling me on Tuesday mornings. Maybe she'd still be arguing with the television. Maybe she'd still be here, fully here, sharp and funny and stubborn and alive. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I want you to know that. I'm 92 years old, and I've seen enough scary things to know that fear doesn't help. Fear freezes you. Fear makes you hide under the covers and hope the monster goes away. And the monster doesn't go away. The silent killer that stays quiet. It doesn't go away because you ignore it. It gets stronger in the silence. It feeds on your denial. So I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to wake you up the way I wish I had woken Ellie up. I'm trying to say the things I didn't say loud enough, often enough, firmly enough. But here's the thing, and this is the part I want you to hold on to. It's not too late. I really believe that. As long as you're here, as long as you're breathing, as long as you're watching this or listening to this or reading this, it's not too late. Your body is remarkable. Even at 90, even at 80, even at 70, your body wants to heal. It wants to work right. It just needs you to help it. It needs you to listen. It needs you to do the small things. The warm drink at night, the slow morning, the walk around the block, the moment of quiet when you check in with yourself and ask, how am I really feeling today? And is what I'm feeling normal? Or is it my body trying to tell me something? I make my drink every night. I sit by the window in my kitchen, the same kitchen where I've sat for 43 years, and I hold the warm cup in my hands, and I feel the heat seep into my fingers. And I think about my vessels, my pipes, all the little pathways inside me that keep everything working. And I think about the herbs in my cup doing their quiet work, gently, patiently, the way water smooths a stone over time. Not all at once, not dramatically, just steadily, consistently, the way real change always happens. And I feel grateful. I feel grateful that someone taught me this. My grandmother, my mother, the old women in my neighborhood who lived to be 100 and never saw a doctor in their lives. And I feel grateful that I listened, that I paid attention, that I didn't dismiss it as folklore or superstition or just an old wives' tale. Because sometimes the old wives know a thing or two. Sometimes the old wives are the ones who've been paying attention while everyone else was too busy to notice. My feet are warm right now. It's a small thing, isn't it? Warm feet. You don't think about it until they're cold. You don't think about a lot of things until they go wrong. But my feet are warm and my breath is easy. And I walked up the stairs this morning without stopping. And I'm 92 years old. It's not age that did this. It's not luck. It's not genetics. My mother died at 68, my father at 71. It's the small things, the daily things, the things that doctors about this stay quiet because they seem too simple, too ordinary, too unscientific. But sometimes the simple things are the truest things. Sometimes the ordinary things are the ones that save you. I want to say something to those of you who have someone in your life like Ellie, a parent, a friend, a neighbor, a spouse, someone who's brushing off the signals, someone who says, "I'm fine," when you can see that they're not. Don't let them change the subject. I wish I hadn't let Ellie change the subject so many times. I wish I had been brave enough to say, "No, Ellie, we're going to talk about this. We're going to figure this out. We're going to do something about this." I wish I had pushed harder. Maybe it wouldn't have made a difference. Maybe she would have pushed me away, but at least I would have tried. At least I would have known that I didn't just sit there and watch it happen. And if you're the one who's feeling those things, the tiredness, the breathlessness, the cold feet, please, please don't wait. Don't be like Ellie. Don't assume it's nothing. Don't assume it's just age. It's not age. Find something that helps. Do one small thing today. Make yourself a warm drink tonight. Sit quietly. Listen to your body. And then do it again tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that. Because that's how it works. That's how the small things become big things. That's how you keep the pipes clear. That's how you keep the silent killer quiet. Not by ignoring it, but by doing the work that makes it have nothing to feed on. I'm going to keep making my drink tonight, and tomorrow night, and the night after that. And I'm going to keep sitting by my window, and I'm going to keep feeling grateful for every warm foot, every easy breath. Every morning I wake up and feel like I actually slept. And when I visit Ellie on Thursday afternoons, I'm going to hold her hand and tell her about the birds at my feeder, and the weather, and the neighbors, and all the little ordinary things that she used to love hearing about. And maybe she'll remember, and maybe she won't, but I'll be there. I'll be there because I listened, because I did the small things, because someone told me long ago that your body is your house, and you have to take care of the pipes. I think about all the stories out there, all the people who have their own Ellie, their own story of someone who waited too long, or their own story of someone who listened just in time. I think about how many of those stories are sitting inside people right now, untold, because nobody asks. Nobody asks the old lady next door what she knows. Nobody asks the grandmother at Thanksgiving what she did to get to 90. And maybe that's the real tragedy. Not just that we don't listen to our bodies, but that we don't listen to each other. That we don't share what we know. That we let wisdom sit in old bones and never let it out. So if you have a story, if you've watched someone you love ignore the signs, if you've been the one ignoring them, if you've found your own way to keep the pipes clear, if you've lost someone and wished you'd said more, I think it's worth telling. I think it's worth putting out there. Not because it's easy, not because it's comfortable, but because somebody else needs to hear it. Somebody else is sitting on their porch right now, feeling tired, feeling winded, feeling cold, and telling themselves it's nothing. And maybe your story is the thing that makes them stop and think. Maybe your story is the thing that changes their mind. I know one thing for sure. I wish I had told Ellie's story sooner. I wish I had told it while she could still hear it. I wish I had sat her down on that porch and said, "Ellie, I'm going to tell you a story about a woman who didn't listen, and I don't want it to be your story." But I didn't, and now I'm telling you instead. And I hope, I really, truly hope, that it's not too late for whoever needs to hear it. My kitchen window is getting dark now. The sun is going down the way it always does, slow and golden, painting the rooftops in amber. I'm going to make my drink. I'm going to warm the water, steep the herbs, add a little honey. I'm going to hold the cup in my hands and feel the warmth and think about all the little pipes inside me, all the pathways, all the rivers that keep this old body going. And I'm going to say a quiet thank you to my grandmother, to my mother, to the old women who taught me what they knew, and to whatever brought me to this moment. 92 years old, still here, still listening, still warm. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up and do it all again, slowly, gently, one day at a time, because that's all any of us have, one day at a time. And if we use each day to do one small thing for our bodies, to listen a little closer, to pay attention a little better, well, maybe that's enough. Maybe that's all it takes. Not a miracle, not a magic pill, just attention, just consistency, just the willingness to believe that what you feel matters. that your body knows what it's talking about, and that it's never, never just age. I hope you'll come back and sit with me again. I've got more stories. Lord, do I have stories. 92 years worth. And I think the world needs more stories, not fewer. I think the world needs more people sitting on porches, sharing what they know, listening to each other the way I wish I had listened harder to my friend. And if you have a story of your own, about someone you loved, about something you learned, about a time you listened, or a time you didn't, I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear it very much. Because I think that's how we save each other. Not with big, dramatic gestures, not with miracles, but with stories. Small, quiet stories, shared between people who are paying attention. And maybe that's the real medicine. Maybe that's the thing that keeps the pipes clear and the silent killer quiet and the feet warm and the breath easy. Not just the drink, not just the herbs, but the act of caring, the act of paying attention, the act of saying, I'm listening, tell me, I'm here. That's what Ellie taught me. In the end, that's what she taught me. Not through what she did, but through what she didn't do. And I carry that with me now, every day, like a lantern in the dark. And I pass it to you. And I hope you carry it too. And I hope you pass it on.